Pokemon is one of those franchises that needs absolutely no introduction. For almost 3 decades, this series has evolved far beyond its gaming roots, spawning a successful anime series with multiple movies, a very lucrative and prosperous trading card game, plus all of the adorable plushies and other such merchandise that have become a collector's fever dream. I mean, it's no wonder why this is one of the most profitable franchises in the world. Just saying. It's quite literally a generational series. With that being said, in today's video, GamingOtakuGeek, am going to go over my top 5 favorite Pokemon games. So let's dive into it, shall we? Let's begin with number 5. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Famously one of the more controversial titles in the mainline series, I can definitely understand where the criticism comes from. I played through the entire thing, and I did experience some jankiness here and there, but it was not enough to hinder my enjoyment of the game. The open world aspect and the freedom to be able to tackle the story however I wanted was honestly something that I thoroughly enjoyed. My only real gripe with this game is the fact that the world feels empty. Yes, you have an open world sprawling with Pokemon, but when you visit towns, it just doesn't feel the same like old school Pokemon. Also keep in mind that I'm not a dedicated diehard Pokemon fan, so there are quite a few entries that I missed out on. Overall, Scarlet and Violet was an exciting glimpse into the future. A pretty flawed glimpse, but an exciting glimpse all the same. Hopefully, Game Freak is able to fine-tune the elements that made this game great, so that whenever they do Gen 10 and beyond, they can be able to really hone in and log in and make the definitive Pokemon experience that we've all been waiting for. And now for number 4. Pokemon X and Y. I remember the excitement for when X and Y was announced. After the hybrid 2.5D art style that Pokemon Black and White had gone with, Pokemon X and Y were the first 3D handheld Pokemon games in the mainline series, and we have been waiting for this with bated breath. Getting to explore 3D environments was a highlight, but for me, what made this Pokemon game particularly special was the fact that you could finally customize your player avatar. Gone were the days where your avatar and your friend's avatar looked exactly the same. Finally, your Pokemon trainer could have their own identity. For me, it was a fantastic experience, and I enjoyed it very much. Off the top of my head that I can remember, there's nothing particular about this game that I didn't like. Overall, I remember being just a very pleasant experience and a very exciting tease into what the future would hold for Pokemon further down the line. And now for number 3. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Gen 4 was my maiden voyage into the Pokemon universe, and to this day remains one of my favorite generations of the franchise. Sinnoh is one of my all-time favorite regions, the Pokemon designs are peak, and Team Galactic is badass. Honestly, I have nothing but fond memories of this game. In addition to it being my first ever Pokemon experience, I was just blown away by all the exploration, by just the sheer amount of adventure that awaited at every nook and cranny and every corner. The highlights for me of this game were definitely Pokemon contests, exploring the underground and building bases, and visiting other friends' bases. Oh my god, those are instant memories flooding into me right now. Good times. And I love the feature of being able to transfer Pokemon from my Game Boy games onto my DS games, due to the DS having the bottom cartridge slot for you to be able to insert said Game Boy Advance Pokemon games. Quite a revolutionary feature for its time. Another major reason why I love this generation so much, Lucario. That is all. Moving on to number 2. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. As much as I love Sinnoh, oh my god, Hoenn has my heart. I believe this might have been the 3rd Pokemon game that I got into after I had played Pokemon Pearl and then Pokemon, I believe it might have been either Fire Red or Leaf Green. My memory's a little fuzzy on the order of which Pokemon games I played after Pearl, which was my first Pokemon game. But anyways, I can't quite put my finger on why I love this particular series of Pokemon games in particular. I think if I really boil it down, it's pretty much everything. The graphics, because I love the sprites. The 2D sprite work is simply top-notch. The Pokemon designs are among some of the best in the series and have some of the most varied types of designs that you've seen, before and since. And some of the most creative, too. I don't know, there's just something about Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald where these Pokemon have such a unique style that really stands out from other Pokemon in the series. The music is also top-notch. This generation of Pokemon games has my favorite gym leader theme. I mean, seriously, it is such a bop. And also, I think it's also Hoenn itself. I don't know if it's just me from playing the game way back when, but I feel like Hoenn is one of the biggest regions in the series. It felt so vast, with so much to explore. And honestly, for me, it still stands the test of time as one of the best experiences in the series. And I don't know, I feel like it's just maybe the nostalgia in me talking, maybe, the reminiscence, the let's be honest, the kind of bias. But it definitely takes the number 2 spot over Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. And, with Sinnoh and Hoenn being my 2 favorite regions, at first I thought it would be difficult to choose, but honestly, the more I thought about it, it was simply a no-brainer. These games are simply iconic. And I mean, the trio of Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre, I mean, come on, can't be beat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the number 1 spot. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. For me, this was an absolute no-brainer. Literally, the easiest decision of my life. Because when thinking on all these Pokemon games, before I even started making this video, I already had known that Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver would take the number 1 spot as my favorite Pokemon game of all time. And it's easy to see why. Not only do you get to explore the entirety of Johto, but you also get to go to Kanto post-game? I mean, if that's not crazy, I don't know what is. And if my knowledge serves me correctly, I think this is the only Pokemon game where you are able to travel to 2 regions in one experience. If there are any other games that have done this, I do not know of their existence. Please point me towards them. This was also the game where you could be able to have your Pokemon walking outside of their Pokeballs alongside you. And to me, that always was such a unique little gimmick that I absolutely loved when playing this game. Especially getting to see the cute little sprites just walking with you. Man, there was just something about seeing the Pokemon sprites walking alongside you that, I don't know, it was just a very satisfying aesthetic. The vibrant colors, the atmosphere, the personality of towns and routes, the seasons changing, literally in-game where you could be able to see the visible passage of time, that was so severely cool. And I mean, you also get to battle against Ash himself, Pokemon Trainer Red, and his all-star team. I remember scaling, was it Mount Moon? Right now I can't remember for the life of me if it was Mount Moon. But anyways, after traversing that entire dungeon and going up to the mountain's peak and seeing that lone trainer there, and then realizing that it was Red, and then seeing his lineup, I think it's safe to say that it took me quite a few tries to beat him. It was a very satisfying challenge, and one that I felt so triumphant after I had, gained victory against him. And I cannot forget to mention the Pokewalker accessory. Oh my god, that was such a godsend for this particular game. Because you're telling me that I could be able to take my Pokemon outside of the game, walk around, level them up, find items, and even capture Pokemon? I absolutely love that. Although I do regret that I lost my Pokewalker. For the life of me, I do not know where I misplaced it or when, but it is sorely missed. In short, this was the most fun I had ever had playing a Pokemon game, and to this day remains one of my top experiences in this franchise. And so, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These are my top 5 Pokemon games. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. But yes, I am very excited to see what the future holds in store for Pokemon. And I mean, there's so many of the previous games that I have not gotten a chance to play that I may just end up checking out in the future. We shall see. But anyways, until next time, this has been GamingOtakuGeek, signing out. Like and subscribe.